Good evening and welcome this evening. If we could all please rise. This time be led in prayer by Alderman Grant Neuendorf.
Almighty God, we ask for your blessing upon the members of this council as we assemble here in this chamber to conduct the ongoing business of our city. With your guidance, we will strive to ensure that our decisions are for the common good, and your inspiration will instill respect, compassion, and thoughtfulness in all our deliberations. Give us the strength and wisdom to lead by example as the people's representatives, and that peace and harmony will make all our proceedings and keep us faithful to the trust placed in us by the citizens of your community. Amen.
Amen. Alderwoman Tracy Berto, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you could all please remain standing. I received word a little while ago that we lost a member of our community, Attorney Michael Lahan. He died today. Michael has served this city with distinction and honor for many, many years in a number of capacities, including the Commission on the City Plan. And I think we should at least express a moment of silence in his memory. Thank you. Thank you.
Citizen comment general?
Thank you. At this time, I declare the citizen comment general to be open. One person has signed up at this time, Mr. Frederick Browning, please. Please state your name for the public record and so forth, your address, and 3 minutes. Thank you.
Frederick Stevens Browning, and I promise I'm not going to talk about the industrial park. First of all, I just, once again, about the thing about Attorney Lahan. He was my family's personal attorney for probably close to 3 decades. So thank you very much for recognizing him. I just want to address Agenda 8. And this comes from a discussion I had with a member of the Board of Ed a couple days ago in terms of looking at an aquatic center. This is a real opportunity, and I was thinking it over a couple days ago. We have in the next maybe decade, about 350 million, please correct me if I'm wrong, amount, budgeted for rebuilding public schools. Would that be roughly correct? Okay. Over the course of building these schools, and if things go well and you folks save maybe 1 or 2% on the construction cost of each of the schools, you would end up with probably around 6 million or 7 million. And that's not a guarantee, but that is certainly possible. So you may end up with a pool of money when you are all said and done building these schools, where you can turn around and attach a really nice pool onto one of the schools you are constructing. Now, this is far from abstract. For example, the town which I worked for built a $42 million middle school. And at the end, they were left with $1 to $2 million left over because they pinched pennies, rode herd on contractors. And then what happened was really unfortunate because they were going to build a rec field for about $1 million. And they said, no, we can't do that. We got to put it back in the general fund. However, if you folks have this opportunity where at the end of this large construction project, which you've already appropriated money for, you might not have to raise any more tax grants. Over the course of 10 years, if you saved as little as 1 to 2% on the building projects, provided they go well, you might be able to turn around and put $6 million into a pool. Now, Alderman Gould knows a heck of a lot more about building pools than I'll ever know. But the point is, $6 million for a 6-lane, 25-meter pool, I think you're well on the way there. I mean, you're really close. You throw in $1 million grant that you can squeeze from somebody, you're even closer. And then my last point is NFA. They have been shipping their kids to go swimming out at Avery Point. I'm sure they're spending hundreds of dollars per bus drive at $50 an hour, hemorrhaging money left and right. Whether you wanted, if you guys built a new pool, I have no idea of your plans, but if you guys build a new pool, you could either cooperate with them and get an initial investment in, maybe 20% of the pool, or if you're worried about operating costs, last point, then you could have them pick up a large chunk of it, because they're not going to keep wanting to keep shipping their students off to Groton. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to speak to us under general citizen comment at this time, please? Mrs. Philbrick.
Joanne Philbrick, Norwich Town. When I originally came tonight, I had a completely different mindset. But sitting here for just a short period of time, I would like to share several things. First of all, Michael Lehan. Today is today, tomorrow is tomorrow. We're here and then we're gone. So, secondly, I was inspired by the presentation by Regan and Dane. My original mindset tonight was going to be in my usual negative confrontational state. But having listened to them, I would like you to understand and appreciate some things that come to my mind. We all just received our tax bills. Our taxes continue to go up, and yet the quality of life in Norwich continues to decline. If you can't see it, then you are blind. The number of abandoned, derelict, disgusting buildings in this city is amazing. The panhandlers, the filth, the drugs, the decaying bodies around the corner from my home is appalling to me. We have to do better. I feel fortunate and humbled by the fact that I live in a house that was built in 1734. Let that sink in, 1734. George Washington walked by my house. George Washington mustered his troops on the Norwich Town Green. Paramus Jones was a drummer in the Revolutionary Army. Think about the potential that this city has. We have to do better. And better does not mean spending more money. Better means working toward a goal, having a vision, and having a plan. I don't know what the answers are. I have questions. I have concerns. It is your job and the department head job to figure out the answers and to be available and responsive to the public. So please, this 250th has the potential to be a megastar for the city of Norwich. So let's work. And lastly, tonight is unique because we get 3 bites of the apple. We have general comments, public hearing, and citizen resolutions. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to join us at this time, the general citizen comment? Yes, please.
Good evening, Sheila Hayes, 382 Laurel Hill Avenue. I just wanted to step up here to thank Pat McLaughlin, the Director of Public Works, and Emma Robinson. Through the Cultural Coalition, through the money that you authorized for the ARPA 2 round to the Cultural Coalition, the youth are working with Public Works right now to do raising the awareness of environmental justice, and they're going to be creating designs for the murals around storm drains. But on last Thursday and Friday, Emma Robinson gave an awesome educational workshop to the youth. They ranged from third grade up to 10th grade. It was at the Sikh Art Gallery. Singh was there. She did a wonderful job. The kids were amazing with her. She was engaging with them. I just wanted you to know and for Pat to know that that was really a very welcome educational workshop for the youth. And we even had a third grader who heard Emma give some instructions, and some of the older kids walked in late, and she started barking out the instructions that Emma had just given the group to the older kids. And it was just amazing to see that kind of interaction. And following what Mrs. Philbrick is saying, we don't often talk about the positive. We often don't appreciate the positive that our city employees and the hard work that they are doing to make this community a better place. And I'll just put the plug in for the storm drain, adopt a storm drain. If you haven't adopted a storm drain, please consider adopting one for the city. It will make a world of difference for our environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'd also like to address this under general citizen comment at this time. And I'd also like to address it under citizen comment at this time. Please, Rebecca.
Rebecca Malucci, 303 Mohegan Park Road, Norwich, Connecticut. I just want to thank everyone for appointing me to the rental commission, the Fair Rental Commission. I'm going to really work at this. I'm very, very pleased to be appointed. It was something I really wanted, and I appreciate your confidence in me. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Anyone else under general citizen comment at this time? Anyone else under general citizen comment at this time? Anyone else under general citizen comment at this time? No one else? Thank you very much for sharing your concerns. Yeah. Yep.
So we're done with this.
Yep, please.
Okay, gonna have resolution 10 under suspension. And I'll read the whole thing.
Please.
Whereas the city of Norwich supports programs such as Rose City Water Wars to be held on Saturday, August 5th, 2023, from 12 o'clock p.m. until 5 o'clock p.m. at Jenkins Park on Mechanic Street, right in the city of Norwich. And whereas the city of Norwich would like to acknowledge the following sponsors: Norwich Public Utilities, Blooming into Greatness, Robbins Ice Cream, Super Smiley's Hop House, DHW Athletics, Carolyn Turner. And whereas the city of Norwich wishes to extend their gratefulness for all the organizations that are working to create this opportunity. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the city of Norwich, by the City Council of the City of Norwich, the celebration known as Rose City Water Wars 2023 to be held on Saturday, August 5th, 2023, from 12 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. at Jenkins Park on Mechanic Street, is recognized and supported and considered as an opportunity for healthy, clean fun for all residents to participate in.
Thank you. At this time, I'd ask for motions to suspend our rules. Alderman Singh, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. The motion to suspend our rules passes 7-0. May I ask for a motion, please, at this time to add what is now known as Resolution 10 to our agenda? Is there such a motion? Thank you, Alderwoman Berto. Second, Alderman Nash. Is there discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould,
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf,
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia,
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom.
Yes. Thank you. The motion passes 7-0.
Public hearing, an ordinance prohibiting the operation of all-terrain vehicles, dirt bikes, and mini motorcycles on City of Norwich property.
Thank you. At this time, I declare this public hearing to be open, and I invite anyone wishing to speak in favor of this ordinance at this time. Please identify yourself with your name and address. You have 3 minutes, please. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of this ordinance at this time? Please, Ms. Filbert.
Joanne Philbick, Norwich Town. I just wanted to look around the room because, once again, I'm appalled at the lack of public participation. Thank you for this proposed ordinance. It's been a little while coming. It's long overdue. If it passes, I will be happy. However, I have serious doubts about the enforcement of this ordinance. And this is where it gets less than pleasant. I first brought this to your attention quite some time ago. I, for one, am sick and tired of the marauding gangs of street racers that terrorize my neighborhood on a regular basis. The law in Connecticut, I believe, states that you must have a license, a registered and insured vehicle. These people, and you can deduce who you want to call these people, are lawless, disrespectful, ignorant people. They have no respect for the law. They have no respect for the tranquility of neighbors. They have no respect for themselves. They think that they can do what they want to do when they want to do it. Case in point, Friday evening, I was sitting in my chair on the Norwich, in my lawn, trying to listen to the concert on the green. And about 10 of them come screaming up Town Street, popping their wheelies, acting like complete idiots. So I called the police department. And this is what the dispatcher said to me. I told you before, call the council or the governor. Don't bother me. Seriously? So I am a little curious, because, and I say this with all respect to Chief Daley, because I know that there's a lot going on in the city. If they can't and don't enforce traffic violations, speeding, wrong-way drivers, traffic signs, how are they going to enforce this? Somebody made the comment, I read it in The Day or someplace, that maybe a wire across the road at this level would be a solution. It has to stop. It has to stop. Because when you give people an inch, they will take a mile. Somebody's going to die, and these groups have no insurance, no license, nothing will happen to them other than the fact that they may die. But it's the public. The public are at risk. So I support this ordinance 100%, but if you're going to pass it, it's got to have teeth. You've got to enforce it. And that, unfortunately, will fall upon the chief of police and the police officers. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak in favor? Yes, yes, sir.
Larry Rice, Will Road in Norwich. I am also in full support of this ordinance, especially during the summer months. These young kids, and most of them are under 16, I believe, they're ravaging the city with these bikes, these dirt bikes. One yesterday went the half a mile on Route 82 right in front of me with the wheels up in the air, and he was standing straight up. I don't know how he didn't tip the bike over, but this is going on all over every street in Norwich. And like this last person who spoke, if you're going to have an ordinance, you're going to have to put something with the ordinance. I don't know what can be done. Probably with the chief and the attorney for the city would have to go through that, but I would say that you're going to have some fines. You seize the bikes, whatever you have to do, but if you're just going to stop them and let them go, the ordinance is not going to do any good. So, like she said, you're going to have some teeth with the ordinance, and don't pass the ordinance. Just don't pass an ordinance to have an ordinance. But this is out of hand in Norwich with all these kids on these dirt bikes and these other bikes. They cause accidents, by the way, and they don't have insurance. They don't have registrations. They don't have anything. They just go home to mommy and daddy and let the rest of the people pay for what they caused. So pass the ordinance and have something that goes along with it to straighten these kids out who think that they can do whatever they want in our city. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I'd also like to speak in favor of the ordinance at this time. Yes, please.
Yes, Martin Weemat, Maple Street, Norwich. My wife and I, just last week, came up to a stop sign. There's another stop sign next to us. I was ready to take off, and a bike ran right through the stop sign, almost hit the kid. We see it, I'd say, on a daily basis going up and down Maple Street. No helmets, just flying, and they're young kids. I feel bad for the people that are using the bikes probably to go to work, because some of them don't have licenses, but there should be something in the books, because with nothing on the books, nothing's going to stop. That's my opinion. And somebody's going to get hurt, including myself. Like the kids, on the motorcycles, doing the wheelies, and if he fell, you ran over the kid, who's responsible, right? But you're stuck with the rest of your life thinking about what you did to a kid that fell under your car. So I think it would be a good place to start. Get something in the books where these kids can't keep without licenses, insurance. So I think it'd be a good start.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak in favor of the ordinance? Yes, please.
Good evening. Ruth Wimett, Maple Street. I am in full support of this ordinance, and it reminds me of maybe about 20, 25 years ago. We had a friend of my children's, a young boy on the street who was doing a motorcycle. He would go by, I don't know, he must have gotten out of work at 1 o'clock in the morning, and he would just open it up just before he got home, and it would wake me up every night. Well, I was really agitated about this, but what happened to this boy later on is he wound up getting killed. So I'm in support of this ordinance, not only because it's an irritation, it's dangerous, but we can lose more young people, really, and that's part of my concern. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else like to speak in favor of the ordinance at this time? Yep, please, Chief. Chief, if you could address some of their concerns, please.
Yes. Patrick Daly, 142 Newton Street, Police Chief and the Local Traffic Authority in Norwich. I'm here echoing what was said before. All the concerns that people have are valid. Some of the approaches to interdiction are a little extreme, but we do have to, there is a problem, and this is a start at addressing the issue that's going on. It's a nationwide problem. I think you saw on the day last week where they had more problems with dirt bikes and ATVs shutting down streets in New London. So this is a start. Enforcement is going to be aggressive where needed and lenient where not. But, everyone, we all seen our frequent flyers with the wheelies, and they're a threat to public safety and a threat to public order. And as the last speaker said, they're a threat to themselves. We do have a responsibility as a city to get our youth to adulthood. So I do think this is a start to doing it. So I just want to speak in favor of it, and if you need me back, I'll come for the public hearing if you have more questions. Then,
Thank you. Continuing, anyone else like to speak in favor of the ordinance at this time? Can anyone else speak in favor at this time? And we'll speak in favor at this time. Seeing no one else, is anyone here wishing to speak in opposition to the ordinance? Anyone in opposition at this time? Is anyone in opposition at this time? Seeing no one else in opposition, thank you all for sharing your concerns. I declare the hearing closed.
Second reading and possible action on the above ordinance.
At this time, I'd ask for a motion to bring the ordinance forward to the floor, please. Alderwoman Berto, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion at this time? Oh, yes, Alderman Grant Neuendorf.
Chief Daly, could you come up, please? So from what I'm understanding, these bikes, after being seized, can be potentially auctioned off?
That's correct. After the bikes are seized, then they have 48 hours to prove ownership. And if it's not, ownership is not clearly established, then the bikes are subject to forfeiture, and then they'll be auctioned off through the city garage.
Okay, thank you. And then the other question I had is, so the first penalty for getting caught and on one of these vehicles is a $100 fine.
Yes.
Can I ask you how much a moving violation fine is in the city? Like a moving violation if you're traveling over the speed limit in a registered car?
They usually, the bottom line moving violation is $92. So
Okay.
it's in line. Speeding violations obviously are very, very expensive. So, 1 to 8 miles an hour, you're over that, you're quickly into the hundreds of dollars for speeding. So this is actually a little bit more economical than using a moving violation.
Okay. Because I'm just concerned that, people who are driving registered vehicles on the road with license, insurance, proper headlights, following the rules of the road, et cetera, it's relatively similar fine if you get caught using one of these bikes without insurance, out of license, potentially not the proper equipment for a vehicle at night.
Relatively similar, except you have the forfeiture aspect of it, that doesn't apply to the motor vehicle statutes. So I think this is a good balance for that gray area where you don't have to have it registered, or if it is registered, you don't have it registered, and it's on the road.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Other questions for the chief? The President Pro Tem, please.
So we heard a little bit during the public hearing about the ordinance has to have teeth. This ordinance does have
Yes, it
teeth.
does.
There's several sections in there. And if you read the ordinance, you would see that it not only.
The ordinance has teeth, and it also has a due process in there. So as far as ordinances go, it's well thought out. It did take a while because it tried to eliminate any potential litigation that we could come as a result of this ordinance. But I think it's a well-written and well-crafted ordinance.
And on the flip side, this ordinance really does not target, for lack of a better word, people who are using legal scooters under the 50 cc's. And
Absolutely not.
are, they're in that first 3 feet of the curb, which they have.
That's been the only question I've really heard is the legal scooters. Legal scooters being operated legally will have no impact as a result of this ordinance.
So for the members of our community that are concerned, they say, okay, well, the scooter is how I get to work. I can't afford a car. I can't afford the insurance, and so on and so on, so on and so forth. As long as they're playing by the rules, so to speak, and then they're in no jeopardy from this ordinance.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. There are other questions for the chief at this time? Seeing none, thank you. Is there further discussion on the ordinance at this time? Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Ordinance is adopted. The vote is 7-0. Thank you.
City Manager's report?
Thank you. This is the city manager's report for July 17th, 2023. Meetings attended with the Southeastern Council of Government Executive Committee meeting, NPU City Coordination meeting, and a site visit with Congressman Courtley at the downtown apartment development. July tax bills have been steady at City Hall, and the tax office would like to remind everyone that current bills can be paid at M&T Bank, who offers the same service as the former People's Bank. Payments can be made in person, online, and through the mail until August 1st without interest. Norwich Public Works Department has provided extensive resources for the numerous festivals and events held by the city by providing the following when needed: stage, temporary fencing, trash, and recycling receptacles, I'll go past that one, extension cords and traffic control devices as barricades and no parking signs and cleanup. Thank you to all the volunteers who have assisted with the cleanup after these events. The city's paving contractor has completed 2.3 miles of paving this construction season, including the Sunrise area, Grant Court, Melrose Place, Trading Cove Drive, Gillette Road, and Rosewood Place. The Chelsea Harbor and Downtown Mobility Study has begun. Data collection is underway by the consultant with public involvement planned for the fall. The study is expected to be completed in the spring. Norwich Youth and Recreation Services Summer Jam and Learn has 17 participants and has provided accessibility for youth who otherwise would not be able to attend the camp program. Our summer camp program is at full capacity with $55,000 in scholarship funding provided to Norwich youth. The city's campsites are also food distribution sites this summer. Spalding Pond is open and has had over 2,500 beach patrons since the end of June. Norwich police have increased beach patrol to build community relationships. Thanks to the Chamber of Commerce of Eastern Connecticut, Dime Bank Foundation, Chelsea Groton Foundation, and Eastern Connecticut Savings Bank Foundation for $5,500 in funding for the NYFS Community Backpack Program. Thank you to the Norwich Events Organization sponsors and volunteers for the annual fireworks celebration that was held on July 7th at Brown Park and was attended by thousands. I have attached the city departments and Otis Library reports for the quarter ending June 30th. That completes my report.
Thank you, John. Are there questions of the city manager at this time? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Citizen comment on resolution?
Thank you. At this time, I declare citizen comment on the resolutions on our agenda to be open at this time. If you wish to address us concerning any of the resolutions, please speak clearly at the microphone, your name and address for the public record. Thank you. Is there anyone wishing to address the council concerning resolutions this evening? Please.
Sheila Hayes, 382 Laurel Hill Avenue. I rise to support, and I was pleased when you established the Fair Rent Commission and supporting the appointments of the Fair Rent Commission Committee, and I look forward to their work getting underway in the city. I also thank you, whoever the maker or makers of Resolution number 10, adding the Rose City Water Wars to the agenda, and the support and the recognition that they have been giving to the city. I believe this is their third year of, it's either their second or third year of providing this to the city, and it's held over in Jenkins Park. So I commend the group and the sponsors for supporting them. With respect to resolution number 8, I have several concerns with this resolution, and it's not with the Aqua Center itself. It is the fact that for the past 4 to 5 decades, we have been holding in the city of Norwich, we've held several committees, established several exploratory committees for a community center to include a community pool. And over that same time frame, and especially within the past couple of decades, we've seen the YMCA, the former YMCA close. We've seen costs for families and youth rise to be, in some cases, cost prohibitive for activities, not just athletic activities, but for art and cultural programs as well. We have had limited space throughout the city, and only until recently, and I'm not even so sure we have addressed that as a city fully. The schools were not even available for many of our nonprofit groups at a cost that was affordable for them to go in and be able to use. I know that Recreation has been working on that, but that was with ARPA funds, and we don't know how long that will last. What I am disappointed is, after all of the outpouring over the years to have a community center with a community pool, that this ordinance is only addressing the Aqua Center. I just feel that for those of us who have been in this battle, fighting for a community center with a community pool, that it is disappointing that only one concept is being pulled out and being recommended by the city council for consideration to look into further. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak to us on the resolutions today under citizen comment? Again, please, Ms. Philbrick.
I'm still Joanne. I still live in Norwich Town. I'd like to speak about 2 things. The first is the committees. We have a lot of boards and committees in the city of Norwich. Actually, there are so many I couldn't count them all. Many of them are defunct. Some of them haven't met in years. A lot of the appointments are outdated. So, in conjunction with adding new committees for a proposed aquatic center or a police station, perhaps we could cull some of the old ones, make it look more professional, more concise. As far as an aquatic center is, I think it would be an amazing benefit to this city. However, like so many other things, and I'm sure that Alderwoman Gould can attest to this with a pool. We had one growing up. We were fortunate. We had an in-ground pool. It's not the initial cost, it's the upkeep. How much is it going to cost to build, maintain, insure? Is this going to be indoors, outdoors? Is it going to be free? Is it going to be a sliding scale? There are so many things that need to be considered. And how are you going to pick your committee members? How are members of the the community going to be represented? As Sheila so eloquently said, this has been floating around, no pun intended, for decades. I'm a little confused right now. It seems that Norwich is on a spending frenzy. I don't know where all this money is coming from. I really don't. And it concerns me. So again, let's have the vision, let's have the plan, and execute the project to completion with all the background information involving the community. Hold community forums. Let the people speak. Let the people be heard. And that's the way we'll get things done. And no one would like a pool better than me. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd also like to address the council on resolutions on our agenda this evening. And it's like, please, Sawicki.
Good evening, everyone. Jan Sawicki, 39 Andrea Lane. I didn't have any intention of speaking, but just the business of the pool kind of piques my interest in coming forward. This is something that has been in the works for quite a while, and I know I was the chair of a committee a long time ago when Joe Levanto was, after he was principal, but he would come to my house often with a number of other community people, including Tucker Braddock and a few others, that we feel that a place in Norwich that's known as Three Rivers, I mean, we are water rich, but we have little to offer our children, really. It's a life skill to learn how to swim. And it's something that's important in terms of recreation as well as safety. So I hope this will be pursued, and I'd like to be a person to be on this committee and help the gentleman who had some ideas that were a little bit different and came forth, as well as Ms. Philbrick. And I'm sure, you know, when I worked with NFA, there was no interest at that time. I had made a suggestion that the senior parking lot could be a perfect area to put that pool. And across the street, and it's Reynolds Road, I believe, where that property is, NFA really has quite a large amount of money in terms of its coffers. And I had hoped that they would just blast that away. There's a lot of granite and ledge through there, and that could become the new parking lot. And that pool could be used by the community as well as the students, and again, would benefit our community. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd also like to speak to us on the resolutions at this time. Anyone else like to speak to the resolutions at this time? Third request, anyone remaining would like to speak to us on the resolutions at this time? Thank you all for your comment. I declare it closed.
New business resolutions relative to reappointments and appointment to Personnel and Pension Board.
At this time, I'd ask for a motion, please, to bring this to the floor. Alderwoman Gould, second. Alderman Singh. Is there discussion? Alderwoman Gould.
I'm going to sort of make a blanket statement so that I'm not repetitive from resolutions 1 through 5. We want to thank these people who live here in the city of Norwich, who are interested in staying on the different boards and commissions that we have, who have stepped up to volunteer to be on for the very first time to boards and commissions, and remind people at home that we do have other openings. Please check the city's website under volunteer opportunities if there's something that you think you'd like to get involved with. And as Ms. Philbrick pointed out, yeah, we do have a few committees that need to be cleaned up, and the reappoint subcommittee is working on that diligently. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there further? Yes, Alderwoman Berto.
I just want to echo Alderwoman Gould's sentiments and thank everybody for their service on all the boards and commissions. And I look forward to wishing them well and seeing what they can do on these boards.
Thank you. Is there further comment? Alderman Nash.
I also want to echo thanking all the people that are joining the boards and serving on them. But if you look at the lists and you go through the list, and I've been sitting up here for a while, it's always the same people. If you really want the city to change, this is for people out there listening on TV or wherever you're listening to this live stream or whatever, get involved. It's the only way the city's going to change. You want something changed, you want something to be different, you want to have a new idea, think outside the box. Here's your chance. There's committees all through the city that are looking for members to join. I know a lot of the people that are on these committees. I've worked with them, whether I was a policeman, a coach, whatever my function has been in the community in the last 30-something years I've been here. But it's the same people over and over. There's people out there that I know want to get involved. Please look up the city, get on the website, contact the city manager, contact the mayor's office, contact someone that you know is on these committees and say, how do I get involved? That's how I got involved all that years ago. I didn't know how to get involved in city politics because I'm a lousy politician. So I just went one day and said, hey, how do I get involved? And here I am 30-something years later. So please get involved. That's how the city's going to change. We need your ideas. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there further discussion? Alderwoman Berto.
Like what Alderman Nash was saying, if you guys want to get involved, please go on the city's website, City of Norwich, I think it's cityofnorwich.org, under boards and commissions, and fill out an application. Under volunteer opportunities. Or you can contact the city clerk's office. There's multiple ways of being involved. Please make sure you guys get involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution adopted 7-0 for the record.
You would tell people who they are?
Pardon me? What?
Did we tell them who they were?
Oh, well. For those who did not get a chance to see the resolution, Paul Schroeder and Mr. Richard Morelli were being reappointed as regular members of the Personal Pension Board, and a new member being appointed as an alternate member is Mr. Robert Buckley. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Alderman Nash.
Okay, number 2, relative to reappointments to the Norwich Golf Course Authority.
Thank you. At this time, I entertain a motion. Alderman Nash, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? No discussion. Just for the public record, these people are being reappointed. They have served on this commission for many, many years. We owe them a debt of gratitude as well. Bernie Caulfield, David DiBattista, Michael Driscoll, Susan Dutilli, Raymond Lathrop, Robert Maloff, Richard Pedergel, and Richard Strauss. Seeing no further comment, roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution is adopted 7-0.
Number 3, relative to an appointment to the Volunteer Firefighter Relief Fund Committee.
Thank you. At this time, I'd ask for a motion. Please bring it forward. Alderman Singh and Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Seeing none, for the edification of those here and those listening, the person being appointed is William Daly. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. The resolution is adopted 7-0.
Number 4, relative to appointments to the Fair Rent Commission.
At this time, I entertain a motion, please. Alderman Nash, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Seeing no discussion, for the edification of all, Mr. Edward Belli, Leanne Gomes, and Rebecca Malucci are being appointed to the Fair Rent Commission. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Resolution adopted 7-0.
Number 5, relative to reappointments to the Recreation Advisory Board.
Motion, please, to bring it forward. Alderman Gould, second Alderman Nash. Is there discussion? Seeing no discussion, again, the people being reappointed are Peter Camp and Jeff Brown. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Resolution adopted 7-0 for the record.
Number 6, relative to tax collector of the city of Norwich being hereby is authorized and directed to offer to sell the property at 28 Cedar Street.
Motion, please, to bring it forward. Alderwoman Gould, second Alderman Nash. Is there discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Resolution adopted 7-0. Thank you.
Number 7, relative to entering into a stone wall preservation agreement and to accepting a right-of-way over properties between Scotland Road and the boundary wall.
Thank you. A motion, please. Bring it to the floor. Alderwoman Gould, second Alderman Nash. Is there discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Resolution adopted 7-0.
Number 8, relative to the Committee on Public Works and Capital Improvements to perform an initial evaluation as to the demand for and feasibility of establishing an aquatic center.
Thank you. A resolution to bring it to the floor, please. Alderman Nash, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Alderman Gould.
I'd like to propose an amendment to Resolution 8, in the last paragraph, last line, that the Committee on Public Works and Capital Improvement report back to the council with their findings at the second meeting in April of 2024.
Thank you. Is there a second? Alderman Nash. Is there discussion on the amendment? President Pro Tem.
I would just like to ask Alderwoman Gould, what's the benefit of the additional 6 months?
For us, that was what the Director of Public Works asked for in order to properly poll the people and get their feedback. Reporting back to the committee at the second meeting in September of 2023 was too tight of a timeline, we felt, and said, well, won't get anything started in 2023. We'll come back in 2024.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, roll call on the amendment.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Amendment is adopted on the resolution as amended. Is there further discussion? Alderwoman Berto.
So for Resolution 8 regarding establishing the aquatic center for the initial evaluation, I think we should also do in the aquatic center, but I think we should give the residents choices, like a splash pad. A splash pad is low maintenance, handicap accessible, unlike a pool where you'd have to spend more money to make sure that pool is more handicap accessible. And also, I think having a building with a pool costs more money as well. Because in the long run, like people were saying, and like Ms. Gould will know, it costs money for maintenance. Somebody to maintain the pool, somebody to maintain the building, lifeguards, all the stuff that comes with having a pool. But if you have a splash pad, it's automatically handicap accessible, low maintenance because you don't really need a lifeguard, safer, because you don't have to worry about really anybody drowning in a splash pad, as you would in a pool. And I think you get more bang for your buck with having a splash pad.
Are you looking for a comment?
No, I just yield the floor.
Thank you. Alderwoman Gould?
The committee will take all of those comments. That's why we want to go out and talk to the public.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? I'll add a couple things to try to respond to people who spoke. One, we had a community center and aqua center exploration committee that discharges duties back in 2015, and their recommendations were to not build a community center. They focused only on an aquatic center, and it was because their recommendation included utilizing the neighborhood schools for community center programs after school hours. I can tell you that our former Human Services Director, Leanne Gomes, and her staff were working on community-based programs utilizing school facilities themselves for quite some time. COVID certainly limited that, access to facilities and such. But that's in keeping, again, with the last committee that we had that was studying this. I believe it was chaired by Stephen Becker, and the vice chair was David Eccleston, who also happens to be our CMAC representative. It was an 11-member board made up of men and women. Again, their recommendation was to focus on the aquatic void here in this community and utilize the schools. With the advent of building new 4 elementary schools and the closing of 3 elementary schools, there is ample opportunity, I think, to explore a separate center, but that also leads to the need to create a transportation system, because not everybody drives if the schools are being utilized, and if there is access and egress in the design of the schools as they're built, you can provide separate facilities within the schools that can be actually closed off from the educational centers of the buildings. We have time to plan, and that's really what this is about. The last thing I would add is we're about to adopt a new plan of conservation and development, and that was a period of time, almost 2 full years in the making. And the number one thing that people have asked for in attending all the public discussions about the plan of conservation and development was the lack of an aquatic center. Deanna Rhodes, our city planner, has shared that with me. I witnessed a demand for it at some of the closing moments where they were taking public comment. For example, at Foundry 66, they had 2 sessions, one at 5, one at 6 o'clock, and everybody that came through those doors, they had listed the chapters of the plan of conservation development on large sheets of paper. And every single person, man or woman, coming to those 2 sessions, all focused on the need for an aquatic center. But having said that, I think we owe the people the opportunity to comment on the need, as one of our speakers spoke of earlier, Ms. Sheila Hayes, and that's really what this is about. This is not spending money. We're not hiring an architect. It's doing more fact-finding, because that study that I referred to was submitted to the city back in 2015, and a lot of time has transpired. And I think we owe it to the public to give them an opportunity to respond to these concepts. And that's all this is about. And I welcome the amendment that was offered on the floor. Thank you. If there's not further comment, a roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. The resolution as amended is adopted 7-0.
Okay, number 9, relative to a quitclaim to NCDC in the area of Canterbury Turnpike, AKA Bromley Lane.
Motion, please, to bring this to the floor. Alderwoman Gould, is there a second, please? Alderman Grant Neuendorf. Is there discussion? Being done, roll call.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. The resolution adopted 7-0. believe there's a motion for executive session.
Oh, Unit 10?
Oh, 10, okay, we'll get 10 done. Thank you.
Okay, number 10, relative to Rose City Water Wars at Jenkins Park on August 5th, 2023.
Thank you. A motion to the floor. Alderman Singh, second Alderman Nash. Is there discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution adopted 7-0.
I hereby move pursuant to Connecticut General Statutes 1-200 subsection 6, that the members of the Norwich City Council go into an executive session for the purpose of discussing the acquisition or disposition of real estate or interest in real estate when publicly regarding the proposed acquisition or disposition would cause a likelihood of an increased price to acquire or a diminished price to dispose of the property, to review feasibility evaluations and reports made for the city of Norwich regarding such property, and to review information given the city in confidence not required to be disclosed by law, as well as strategy and negotiations with respect to pending claims. City Manager John Salamone, Comptroller Josh Pothier, Police Chief Patrick Daly, and Corporation Counsel Michael Driscoll shall be asked to participate during all or portions of this executive session at the request of the City Council.
Thank you. Is there a motion, please?
Yes.
Pro Tem, seconded by Alderman Singh. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Motion passes 7-0. Room. Council, come back to order. Let the record show that no votes were taken in executive session. Thank you. Yeah. Eyes. Okay, under new business ordinance, I'm sorry, a motion to come back in executive session, please. Let the record show no votes were taken. Alderman Grant Neuendorf, second Alderman Nash. Roll call, back to session. Nash,
Yes.
Berto,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Gould,
Yes.
Neuendorf,
Yes.
DeLucia,
Yes.
Nystrom, yes. Motion passes 7-0. Before us now is new business ordinance. An ordinance appropriating $44,750,000 for the City of Norwich Police Headquarters Facility Project and authorizing the issue of $44,750,000 in bonds of the city to meet said appropriation and pending the issuance thereof, the making of temporary borrowings for such purpose. The motion is to raise this for public hearing, to waive the full text reading at this time and schedule it for public hearing and second action. And based on the substance of this ordinance, I believe we're looking at the second meeting in August for action.
Maybe want to make it the first meeting, take your time frame.
You should.
Well, it's going, the intent in the motion also is to be referred to public safety as well as the commission on the city plan. I don't see a choice. I know it has to be the Secretary of State's office before September 1st. Any ordinance does, that includes bonding. But I don't know how you can guarantee the Commission on City Plan will meet and/or in the public safety meeting is after the meeting in August, the first meeting. I mean, we've done it before the second meeting in August. Is everyone clear on the motion? Second meeting in August is the
The 21st.
21st.
21st, yeah. Well, that is tight, wow.
Public safety's on the 9th.
The 9th, so then
Commission of City Plan meeting is August 15, I believe.
August 15th. unless otherwise they schedule an emergency or special meeting. But we know they're down 2 members too.
Actually, they have one tomorrow as well. Commission on City Plan.
They do?
Yep.
Oh. Well, the motion was made, but there was no first or second. I guess we're in dialogue. Is that permitted?
Yeah, I just want, I thought we were just getting the dates.
I thought we were just checking the
before we-
date.
Well, we're trying to, but that would forego reference to public safety. The purpose of public safety was in fact to hold public comment and opportunity for people to speak. I think I have to stay with the second. It's up to the members here, but the motion before you requested is to have this returned for council action on the second meeting in August, thereby allowing it to go to public safety, also the commission on the city plan.
I'll make that motion if that's what you're waiting for.
Please. And that also includes waiving the full text and reading at this time and scheduling for public hearing and second action on that date as well. Thank you, President Pro Tem. Made the motions. Our second, Alderman Nash. Any further discussion on the motion? Is everyone clear? CCP, public safety, and I'd recommend that that doesn't limit the actions of the council as far as scheduling other public forums. Roll call.
Alderman Nash,
Yes.
Alderman Gordo,
Yes.
Alderman Singh,
Yes.
Alderman Gould.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould, Alderman Newendorf,
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia,
Yes.
Mayor Nystuen.
Yes. Thank you. The motion passes 7-0. There a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Alderman Gould and Alderwoman Berto. Roll call on motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto,
Yes.
Alderman Singh,
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould,
Yes.
Alderman Newendorf,
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia.
Yes.
Mayor Nystuen.
Yes. Motion to pass. And we adjourn, passes 7-0.